Well, to get more and an expert analysis rather on this, we are joined via Zoom by Professor in Public International Law at the University of Johannesburg, Professor Hennie Strydom. A very good afternoon to you, Prof. Always a pleasure to see you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much and good afternoon.
Prof, the Jewish community, as I'm sure you heard in our bulletin now, we just crossed to Pretoria, in fact. The Jewish community here is saying that the government of South Africa should be more even-handed in condemning violence in the Middle East, in fact, holding a bit of a picket outside there. Is there a sense that South Africa isn't handling the crisis correctly? Is there even much that's being done by the government apart from releasing statements of support?
Well, we know by now what the stance of the South African government is regarding this conflict. It's a long-standing sympathy with the Palestinian people, and one could expect South Africa to react in that way. And I think states all over the world have a discretion on how they would like to respond to a situation of this kind. And there are also sort of historical reasons and political strategic reasons for that. So South Africa is one of those countries who have decided to side with the Palestinian cause, and they probably have their good reasons for that. Yeah. Well, when that happens, the role that the state can play in mediating the situation is then limited, because you cannot choose sides and then also try to play a mediatory role. And that is one of the consequences of responding in this fashion. But like I've said, that is South Africa's good right to do so.
Yeah. You know, when interesting you use the word limited. And I mean, as I watch this conflict between the two sort of escalating and with so many calls that have been made to condemn the violence and what is happening, what is it that the global community is indeed failing to do at this time to stop this violence? It almost seems as though they're kind of wishing it away and that it will, you know, disintegrate and stop at some point. It seems that there is a limit to what they're willing to do at this time.
No, I think one of the major problems at this time is that the Security Council is prevented from acting through the intervention of the United States of America. By blocking a statement that the Security Council actually should issue, and I'm actually surprised by the fact that it has taken so long and still we do not have a proper response by the Security Council. And that is sorely needed. Yeah. We need a sort of unanimous decision on how to handle this conflict, or what should be done, at least in the meantime, to stop the violence, so that there can be space, political and other space, for dealing with the tensions on the ground.
Yeah. Interesting, when you talk about the Security Council being prevented from acting, in what way? Perhaps you can explain to us in what way they would have been prevented from acting adequately as they should. I mean, what is the actual problem, as one does expect them to have something to say at this time or something to do at this time?
Well, it's because of the veto right. So the United States, China, Russia, UK and France are permanent members, and each one of them has a veto right, so they can block certain actions by the Security Council, and this is what's happening here. And I think it's not the kind of leadership that we expect from America at this point in time. We have all thought that under the Biden administration things would change. Yeah. But let me also explain to the viewers why we might have this situation continuing unless there's a sudden change to the domestic issues in the United States. From a foreign policy point of view, the Israel issue has domestic consequences, direct domestic consequences in the United States because of the very powerful pro-Israeli lobby. And I think they play a significant role in the stance that the administration is taking on issues of this kind. Yeah. And which could explain the stance that the United States has on the statement that the Security Council is supposed to issue.
Yeah. All right, Prof, thank you very much for giving us your input this afternoon. Thank you for your time as always.
Thank you and goodbye.
All right, that's Prof. Hennie Strydom, Professor in Public International Law at the University of Johannesburg.